Good evening, guys. Good evening, all of you. You able to hear me, everyone? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have given
Yes,
you
we can.
option here. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, yeah, I see I got a new list. Like, there are some students who is attending for the first time. That means today's class. So first, I'll just address to those students who have joined only today. That means for whom today is the first class, and then yeah, we will continue with today's class. Okay. Just keep on mute everyone for the few minutes. Okay, guys. So just listen. To whom today is the first class, I'm addressing them. So till now, two classes has been completed. The first one is demo class. It is nothing technical. In the demo class, we have discussed what is this cloud technology, why it became so famous, and what used to happen in IT companies before this cloud technology came, and what is happening now, and why should we learn only AWS cloud but not with other cloud services, and what are the services we are going to discuss as part of this course, what are the certifications you can crack after completing this course, what is the salary structure you can expect, what are the different job designations you can target for after completing this course. And in the end, I have recorded all the students doubts. Different students have asked different types of doubts, so I have recorded that also. So every one of you will be receiving the recorded video as well as the syllabus PDF document and also the course information related PDF. So if I think already the admin team is having your Gmail, so you should be receiving by tomorrow morning to your Google Drive, or else you just give your Gmail to your to the admin team. They will be sharing it to your Google Drive demo. That is the first class. So this is the first class. And yesterday we have completed second class. Yesterday we have discussed second class where we started with discussing about history of voice, what are the different types of operating systems, right? And before that, I showed you how to open AWS account, right? How to create a new AWS account, which is completely free of cost and free for entire 1 year. This, and then we started about discussing what are the different types of operating systems, how they have emerged, and then we started with one of the first important service, that is EC2 theory and the terminology. What is the technical words related to this AWS cloud technology? What do you call operating system, RAM, CPU, hard disk? And we also started the practical of how to launch and how to connect to a Windows server, to a Windows EC2. Same, this also, every one of you will be receiving recorded video as well as two PDF documents as well as two text documents. I have already shared, I know, because I only uploaded these things. So those who have already attended, yeah, you should have received already. But those who haven't attended the classes, like I said, please share your email ID Gmail with the admin team so that they will be sharing to your Google Drive. So it's okay. You can listen today's class. You might understand, you might not understand. Don't worry about that, because at the end of this week, not only Saturday, Sunday, but also extra 2 more days, I'm going to give holidays so that you can go through these recording videos and you can ask me all of your doubts by calling me in the WhatsApp. So you don't need to worry about that. You just listen. How much you understand, just try to understand. Even though if you did not understand anything, no need to worry. Everything I'm going to again teach slowly from next week onwards. Okay. Now today we are going to start with the third class. And in today's class, I'm going to teach first how to launch a Linux instance and how to connect to it. Next, how to create a web server. That means I am going to show you how to create our own website and how to connect to it. And then very important concept, that is load balancer, elastic load balancer, and how this load balancer is used actually in the companies in the real time. So today's class is very, very important from interview point of view as well as general technical perspective. But again, I am going to just explain because still these are free classes and I'm just giving you an overview. What is a web server? What is a load balancer? These things. But again, I'm going to explain very clearly from next classes onwards. Right? Once we start our regular batches from tomorrow onwards, there I will be going to explain in depth actually how we will be using in the company. So without any delay, yeah, let's begin with creating a Linux EC2. I will log into my account which we have created. AWS console, sign in. I'll just keep this a bit here so that it won't, yeah, cover up the options. So already yesterday we have discussed in depth what are the different options as a part of launching an EC2 instance. So today it will be much more easy for you. Already you are familiar with it, but still there will be a bit difference compared to yesterday's and today's class. We will focus on that small differences. And yesterday, you see, yesterday for the first time we have used the account where all everything is 0001. But yesterday we have created one key pair and one extra security group. That's why 1 and 2 is there. It's okay. Let's delete it. Again, we will create it today also. You see, yesterday we have created Windows security group. I will delete this. And like I said, what is this default group? Why we use it? Whether we use it or not in the companies, we will discuss because that is also important. That we will discuss in the coming class slowly. Same thing. I will delete this key pair also. Now, if you go to the dashboard, refresh, this is a refresh button, guys. If you want to refresh, you don't need to refresh here always because this is a browser level refresh button. This is a console level refresh button. It is very fast. Whenever you want to refresh, you see, it refresh everything. So now, yeah, again, everything is brand new account. All you see 00000 only one. Let's go ahead and launch Linux instance. Launch instances. Same like yesterday. Today also we will be having 7 points, right? There are 7 steps to launch an instance. I'll just give for your overview. Seven, right? So like the first step is number of instances. How many servers do you want to launch? Okay, let's begin with one. So step one is number of instances. One. Next, what is the name of the instance? What name you want to give? Like I said, you can give any name, but always give a proper naming convention so that you can understand. So I'll say Linux instance 1. So that is second step, name. So I have given Linux 1. Operating system. So which operating system are you planning to launch? Yesterday we have launched Windows, but today I will select Amazon Linux. That also I will make sure I'm selecting free tier eligible. Okay. Anything you can launch, guys. Either you can launch this 2023 or 2022, this one previous. But yeah, everyone just use this one. In the coming classes, we will use the latest one. But for now, yeah, you can go with the second one. This is also free tier. Select this. Third one is AMI, AMI or AMI. We have chosen Linux. Next instance type, same. Let's go with the free tier eligible. There is only this only T2.micro is eligible for free tier 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. The fourth one is instance type. I'm going with T2.micro and key pair. So let's go ahead and create a key pair. I will say Linux. And now observe carefully. Yesterday we have downloaded as it is, PEM file as it is. But in today's class, since we are launching a Linux server, to connect to a Linux server, we need to use a format of PPK. Okay. For connecting to a Windows machine, we need a format of PEM. But for connecting to a Linux, we need a format of PPK. Just remember that much for now. Why is that? So what happens if you have PEM? When we need to use PEM? When you need to PPK? These all things again we'll discuss in the coming class slowly. But for now, just blindly remember, if you want to connect to a Linux instance, you need to have a PPK format. That's it. Download it. So it will be there in your downloads. Step 5 is key pair. And here I'm highlighting, yeah, today we have downloaded in PPK format. And then same security group I already explained. Now you can see the difference. Whatever the name you want to give, you can just give the name of the security group. I will say Linux security group. Did you observe any difference in yesterday's class and today's class in this step? What was
For
there here
Windows,
yesterday?
we see in RDP.
In yesterday's class, it was RDP. And what was the number here yesterday?
Double three eight
3389.
nine.
3389. Why? What was the reason? RDP 3389 is a universal port of
Universal port.
Windows operating system. Like that, what is the universal port number of all the flavors of Unix? Mac, Linux, Ubuntu, Fedora, Amazon Linux, anything, all flavors of Unix. For everything, the port name is
22.
SSH. SSH means secure shell. Secure shell, and the port number is 22. So since in the step 2 we have selected what is the operating system we have launched, we are launching
Sir,
Linux.
it come by default, or like we have to select type of SSH?
That's what I told you. Have you attended yesterday's class?
No, actually, I was in yesterday class. In yesterday class, like we saw RDP was there, like the
Yeah, yesterday I
security type.
explained you also. I stopped here at this point and I told you, is it there by default? Did I typed it? It came by
Right. Oh,
default here.
got it.
So
Okay.
today also it was there by default. That's what. Why? Because
Right.
Amazon is smart enough. Whatever the
Mm-hmm.
operating system you have chosen, Amazon already recorded that. Okay, this person has chosen Linux OS. So that means I need to open SSH. That's why when we
Okay.
came to this step, automatically this is open. I did not open it manually. So yeah, this is
Okay.
the main technical difference between yesterday's class and today's class at the security group level, port number.
Mm-hmm.
The next, so step 6 here is security group, and we have the port name is SSH and the number is 22. And okay, let it be. Last step, final step is hard disk. I mean C drive. Like I already said, in Windows we call it as C drive, but whereas in the language of Linux, what do we call? We call it as root volume. And did you remember what was the number here yesterday by default?
30 GB.
30,
30
sir.
GB, right? And today it is 8 GB. Why? Again, I did not type this number. It was there by default. So now my question is why Amazon is recommending 30 GB minimum C drive if you want to launch a Windows machine, and if you want to launch a Linux machine, 8 GB is fine. 8 GB is enough minimum. Amazon is recommending. My question is why?
Because it is CLI.
Yeah, almost correct.
Because in Windows having too many applications that need to run, so that's why RAM need more. But in Linux, it is having only the CLI format, so we did not need more RAM.
Correct. So you see, whenever let's say you are planning to buy a pen drive or a hard disk, how do
If
you
you want to
decide the
provision any Windows
capacity?
server,
How do
minimum
you
32
decide the
is required.
capacity of which one you need to buy? Whether you want to buy 16 GB pen drive or do you want to buy 256 GB pen drive? How do you decide? Depending on the usage, right? How many files you want to keep in that, how much amount of storage you want to store, accordingly you will find it. You will buy the pen drive or hard disk. Same way here also, how Windows operating system has been designed, guys. Windows operating supports both graphical user interface, GUI, as well as CLI, command line interface. What is GUI? Let me show you. I am creating a folder. You see, on my desktop, I am creating a folder called Revanth folder. How did I created this folder? In using which format? Is this graphical user interface or command line interface?
GUI.
This is GUI. Now can I create the same Revanth folder by typing commands?
Yes.
Next level we
Yes.
can create.
So how? Just go to here, search CMD. CMD means command prompt. It will come. Enter. So currently where I am in C users Revanth folder. If you want to, again, don't focus on the commands here. I just want to show you how to create a folder just using the commands. So dir is a command where it will show you all the list of files folder in that particular folder. So under C drive, in the C drive, there is a folder called users. Inside users folder, there is a folder called Raven. I will show you if you want. See, this is C drive. Inside C drive, there is a folder called users. Inside users, there is a folder called Raven. Same thing I have opened here also, but I opened in CLI. And inside that, these are all the folders. And again, inside this, I want to go to let's say I want to go to downloads folder. So what I will say, you go to CD, download. CD means change directory. That means change folder. Enter. So now I am inside the downloads folder. And what is the command to create a directory? mkdir.
dir.
Mkdir means make directory. That means make a folder. I'll say Revanth 1. Enter. So now I will go to downloads folder. I will show you. You see, Revanth 1 folder is created, but how did I create it? Did I created it using GUI or CLI?
CLI.
CLI. So that is what I mean by Windows operating supports both graphical user interface as well as command line interface. So that's why it's a heavyweight software. That means if you have to install a Windows operating system, you need to have more space in your C drive. That is the reason why Amazon is recommending you should have minimum 30 GB. Whereas what is Linux? Linux is a very lightweight operating system. Linux is very lightweight operating system because it runs entirely on CLI, only command line interface. That means everything is commands. That's why as a part of our course, one entire week, I'm going to explain all the Linux commands. By end of this course, you will understand from the basics to master level concepts of all the Linux. So you no need to worry about that commands because as a part of course, it is included and you will know each and every command. Right? So that's why. So Linux is a very lightweight software. So if you want to install a Linux operating system, you don't need to have 30 GB in your C drive. That means a root drive. 8 GB is fine. That's the reason why Amazon is recommending minimum is 8 GB. If you want, you can go more than that. Like I said already, if you want 100, 200,000, you can do. But of course, we are not crossing a limit of how much free tier? 30 GB is the free tier of hard disk. So let it be as if you want, you can increase 30. You can do. Still, you won't get any bill. But again, you can't go less than 8. Let's say if I keep 5. See? it will throw error saying that you should have minimum 8. So let it be as it is, 8. No worries. And say launch instance. So the last step is EBS. Yesterday is C drive because it is a Windows. Today is a Linux, we call it as root. How much it is? 8 GB. So now if you observe carefully, what is the only technical differences compared to yesterday's class and today's class? Step.
Keypad.
So port
Report
number
name.
and
Port
a root
number.
Yeah,
directory.
very
Port
good.
number and
Correct.
root.
Correct. 5, 6, 7. That's it. I mean, this is actually not technical. This is not technical. You can remove this. Only technical is these two, 5 and 6. This will be as it is. Again, like I said, in the coming classes, I will say you why is this difference? Why PEM? Why PPK? Right. And apart from these ports, yesterday 3389, today 22, like that. Actually, in the companies, what are the different ports we use? What is the purpose we use? That we'll discuss slowly one by one. But in today's class, our focus is on only these 3 things which I have discussed in the beginning. Now come back. We have launched the server. Now we want to connect to it. We want to connect to it. Did you remember what is the software we used yesterday to connect to Windows instance?
RDP.
RDC.
RDC, sorry.
Yeah, good. I know it's a bit confusion. RDP is a port, okay, port number. RDC is a software, so don't get confused. So today also, I'm having a laptop. I'm sitting somewhere in the Europe, and I have launched a Linux EC2 instance somewhere in India. So from my laptop, I want to connect to this instance. So I already opened the port SSH22. Again, what did we discuss? If you have to connect to any machine, you need to know the details about that machine. You should know either IP or DNS of that machine. You should know the username of that machine. And of course, yesterday it was PEM or password, but in today's class, it is this one, PPK. Right? So where you need to enter? You need to enter all these details in your laptop. In my laptop, I need to enter the IP or DNS, the username, and then the PPK of this Linux instance. But where should I enter? Like I said, in yesterday's class, we used a software in Windows. Yesterday we used a software called RDC. And did we downloaded it? No.
No.
It is there by default in a Windows laptop. But in today's class, if you want to connect to a Linux EC2 instance, Linux, what is the software we need to? We need to use a software called PuTTY. PuTTY is a software we use for connecting a Windows machine to Linux machine.
T, Excel, and mobile stream. Mobile stream also can connect.
Yeah. That I will explain in the coming classes. This is a old tool, but still I wanted to explain you because sometimes when you join in the companies, some companies might be using this tool. So I want you guys to have a knowledge about this also. But in the current companies, we are not using PuTTY. There is a very advanced tool where you don't need to worry about all these types of key pairs, these things that again, let's discuss slowly one by one. That's why I did not bring up in today's class. Again, you'll get confused. And where do you get this PuTTY? PuTTY is not there by default in your Windows laptop. We need to download it. And it's just a matter of 10 seconds. Just go and search for PuTTY download. Okay. In anything, either first one or second. Okay, let's go with this. Second, www.cheark.greenend.org, this one. And if you scroll down, here you see the first one, putty.exe, and just click on this first one, this one. Click, it gets downloaded. It is a very lightweight software, hardly it is KB. Just now it immediately it got downloaded, right? You see how much it is, just 1.5 AM. In 1 second it gets downloaded. Now let's open that software. So inside this PuTTY software, now we need to enter these details. What is this? DNS, username, ppk, all these. So what you will do, select the instance, actions, connect. And here you see there is an option called SSH. SSH. And if you scroll down, observe carefully here, this is the username, and this is the DNS. So already two values we got here. You can copy both at the same time. Username at the rate of DNS. Copy it at a time, Control C. And you can paste it here. Control V.
Sir,
And
can you
now
please repeat this? Can you please repeat this one once again?
just select the instance, actions, connect. Under SSH, under example, you see there is an example where they're explaining you what is the values of the username, what is the values of host name, like that. So this is the value of username, and this is the value of the machine. This is the name of the machine. That means, or DNS, you can say IP or DNS or name of the machine, anything is same. What is the exclusive difference? We'll discuss later. So copy this username at the rate of DNS, Control C, cancel, and open your putty. Oh, I closed it, right? It's okay. Paste it here. And then we need to upload this ppk file, where in the left side you see connection is there. Just click on this plus button beside connection, and SSH is there, right? Beside SSH, click that plus button, and there you'll have authentication, AUTH, authorization, right? Again, click that plus button. There you'll have this credentials, where you need to upload your ppk file. You see here, the private key file. Browse in the downloads folder, right? I'm already in the downloads folder. And here sometimes you might not see this, because here you see all files, you put ppk, whatever you want. If you just keep all files, it will show all the files. If you just want to see only ppk files, it will show you only the ppk file. Somehow we want only ppk file, right? So I'll just select that, open. Okay. So it is asking, okay, whether do you want to connect to this machine? I say yes, accept, I want to connect. So what did we discuss? What is Linux? Linux is a completely command line interface. That means where you need to type comments, some Linux comments you need to type, which we are going to focus. Somehow I am going to show some comments today, but don't focus on any comments. We will discuss exclusively all the comments in the Linux class. Now the next thing is web server. Web server means the server, the computer in which you are creating your website. So let's see how to create our own website. First, let's try to understand the terminology. So now second thing now we are going to cover is web server. So what is a web server here? First, let me show you just simple example. Let me open irctc.com. So what is this irctc.com? It is a website. So how you are able to see this website when you type irctc.com? How are you able to see that website? Because IRCTC company, they have a server, they have a computer in which they have prepared the application. They have prepared an application called IRCTC, and they have opened the port, so that whenever customers type from your laptop, when you type irctc.com, what happens? Your traffic will go into the computer of IRCTC this, and it will collect all the information and it will show you in your laptop. So in today's class, now we are going to create our own web server, like how IRCTC company created their own website. We are going to create some small website just for your example purpose, not something like big like IRCTC, something small. So first try to understand the meaning of a web server. Web server means it is also a computer, but what is the power of that computer? It is having website inside it, which can show to the customers. Right? So first, now we are already having a Linux server, right? Now we are already having Linux server. So what is our next step? Our next step is we want to convert this into a web server. My next step is I want to convert this Linux server into a web server. So how can you convert a Linux server into web server? Simple, you just need to install web package. You need to install web package, and there are many web packages, but in today's class we will just focus on one of the software. Guys, don't get confused. What is the meaning of package? Package means nothing but software. Okay. In the language of Windows operating system, we call it as a software. In the language of Linux operating system, we call as package. So either you can call software, either you can call package, anything is fine. So what I'm saying, if you want to convert any server, whether it's a Linux server, whether it's a Windows server, if you just want to, if you want to give some extra power, what is the power? The power to host a website inside that server. What we need to do, we need to install a web package software inside that server. So automatically then it will be converted into a web server. So how are you going to install? Again, you need to type some Linux commands, then only it will convert into a web server. So here I have created some commands. Again, like I said, you don't focus on commands. I will be just explaining on a high level. Again, we are going to discuss this in depth in the Linux class. Now you see guys, as which user have you entered into this Linux server? We have entered this into this server as an EC2- user. But if you want to fire some commands, if you want to execute some commands in Linux operating system, which user is having full permissions, full privileges without having any restrictions in Linux operating system?
Root user.
Root
We call
user.
it as root user, right? So what is the first step? First, we want to convert ourselves from EC2-user. I want to convert myself into a root user because I want to perform these commands. You see, these are some Linux commands. I want to perform these commands. So that's the first command, guys, just be on mute, guys. Who is this? Sudhir Kumar, Chandan Ghosh, just be on mute. The command to convert yourself into a root user is sudo su. Again, don't ask me abbreviations, anything. Don't focus on commands at all. Even though if you did not understand anything, no problem. Again, I'm going to repeat these things. Right? Enter. Did you observe what has been changed? Before you were EC2-user. But after you fired this command, you have converted yourself into a root user. Okay, perfect. Next. Again, this is not mandatory. If you just want to update your OS, let's say I want to update my OS. So m update. M is a package manager, guys. M is a package manager. Just remember and say enter. So now what it will do, it will check if all the operating system of this Linux is up to date or if some additional updates are there. So currently you see, there are no packages for update. That means already your Linux operating system is up to date. That's why I did not download anything. Now comes the major thing. So now you want to install the package, the web package called httpd. And what is the command to install the software? Yum install httpd -y. So what you do, yum install httpd. Actually, this is the command, guys. Why I'm giving this -y in the end, I will show you. I'm not giving -y now and simply type enter. You see, it has downloaded that software, but it did not install. See, it stopped here in the middle. It is stopping in this middle and it is asking me, okay, Revant, I downloaded this httpd software and I am ready to install. Do you want me to continue or not? So it is asking for my permission. Yes, deny, no, like that. So what I have to do again, I need to give manually y, type y and enter. Then it will install. So if you don't want like that in between, if you don't want again manually give y, again enter. So what we do generally in a shortcut, in the command itself, in the end, we will give this -y so that it will not stop like that in between and it will not ask your permission. It will install also. That's it. Nothing more than that. And if you observe any time, whenever you install any software in the Windows in your laptop, does it create any folders? Have you observed any time? In any software, let's say you have a Samsung mobile. If you bought
Yes,
a new
yes.
Samsung mobile,
Create folder.
right, inside a C drive. Whenever you install any antivirus software, whenever you install a cricket game, or whenever you install some mobile drivers, your Apple mobile phone or your Samsung, where it will create under C drive, you see, in the program files. The program files. Here you have all the folders related to the different softwares: Notepad, NVIDIA, Python, Java, Git, Google Explorer, Google browser. That's why you see these are all are different softwares and the folders related to that softwares. Same thing in Linux also. What happened just now? We have installed a software. We have installed a software called HTTPD. So automatically that software will create a folder called this one, www.html. Now I want to go inside that folder. And what is the command to go inside that folder again? CD. CD means change directory folder. Don't get confused, guys. Folder. In the language of Windows operating system, we call it as folder. In the language of Linux operating system, we call it as directory. That's it. Again, even though if you when you're working on a Linux computer, if you say folder, no one will say, hey, it is wrong, you should not say like that. No, you can say folder also, but since you're new, I'm just saying you the technical words as per the operating system. But once you join in the company, you can say anything, folder, directory, anything is fine. So let's go ahead and let's go inside this folder, inside where folder, inside www folder, then go into HTML folder. If you just want to clear the screen, you can type clear and click enter, or else you can type control plus L, anything is fine. Enter. CD space slash var www html. And if you want to see any files are there or not inside that particular folder, what is the command? ls. Ls means list. It will show if any files are there. So you see when I type ls command, nothing came. That means there is no files or there is no folders inside this folder called
LL also
HTML.
can put
Right.
LL.
Guys, don't talk anything, please. Now we'll discuss everything in the end because it's a long class today. Yeah. ls. Now you see how you are able to see this content, guys. Sorry, this one. When you type irctc.com, you see you are able to see trains. When you click on buses, it is opening another web page. When you click on flights, it is opening another web page. When you're click on hotels, it is keep on opening different web pages. This is opening web pages. But where all these web pages are included, bus, hotel, flights, everything is included in the main page of this IRCTC website. So what is the technical word? What is the technical word of any website where you can see all the web pages related content? We call it as homepage. Anything. When you open facebook.com, what happens in the facebook.com? You can see all the things, right? Friends, messages, notifications. But when you click on messages, it will open messenger. When you click on friends option, it will show all the list of friends. But all the options are first included in the main page, right? So that main page, whenever you open any website, the first page which you see, that we call it as home page. And to the home page, they will include all these things. Okay, I will include bus, train, flight, hotel, and then it will open again. Inside that there will be another web pages. So what these web developers will in the companies, there will be web developers, UI UX developers. What is their job? Their job is to create these pages, web pages. So they will create all these pages. So this the combination, the compilation or the combination of all these individual web pages and attaching it to the home page, these all together we call it as web application. Okay. This is a web application. And what they do, this web application, they need to keep inside a file. They need to keep inside a file, and the universal format usually we use index.html. Index.html is the name of the file And inside this file, we will place this web application. Again, whatever I'm saying now, this is not at all our job. This is not the job of cloud engineers. But you should know the process. What is a web server? How you create a web server? What happens in the background of a web server? You should know. Even though we don't create, but you should know who will create, what they will do. That's why I'm explaining you this thing. And even though if you did not understand anything in today's class, nothing to worry. Again, we are going to discuss this class in the coming classes in a very in-depth manner. Okay. So once you keep this inside this index.html, then what happens whenever customers type irctc.com from their laptop, then the traffic will come and hit this file, and then the customers will be able to see the irctc website in their laptops or their computers. So now what happens? We also want to create some application, but not like something like IRCTs, but very small application. So what I will do, I will just create such a way my customers should see something Linux 1, Linux 1. Where I should keep this? I will keep this in a file called index.html. Index.html. Again, of course, you need to type some Linux commands for creating a file called index.html, and inside that file I want to keep a content called Linux 1. So this customers will see. So whenever customers type in their laptop, their traffic will come, go through the port, and then they will see this. It will load this, and customers will see in their computer Linux 1 in their Google browser. That is our aim now. So what is the command to create a file and to keep a content inside the file? So let's say I want to create. So let's go back to our Linux server. So echo, first one is echo. What is echo? I mean, it's an English word. What is the meaning of echo in English? Echo means like a resound, right? If you go to some hilly areas and if you shout loudly, what you will listen again, you will listen the resound, right? That is called echo. Same here also, whenever you type something, anything after echo, the same thing will be printed. So let's say echo Revant. See, the same thing will be printed. But what is our requirement here? Whatever this content is there, I don't want to simply print on the terminal here, but I want to save that content in a file called index.html. So what I will do, command echo Linux 1, that is the content I want to save, but not on the terminal, greater than space file name, whatever the file name you want to create. Let's say I want to create a file name called index.html. So here some of you might be getting confused. Okay, Revant, we understood that we need to create a file called index.html, and inside that file we need to place a content called Linux 1. That we understood. But why are you giving here index.html? There is no file name, right? So what is happening in this command? In single command only we are doing two activities. You see, this is a single command, but this is doing two things. What it is doing? It is creating a file called index.html. First, it will create a file called index.html, and inside that file, it will save this content. It will save the content called Linux 1. Okay. Enter. So if you observe carefully, before when I type ls, what happened? Nothing came because there is no file or folder inside this folder. Now if I do ls, index.html should be there. Okay. Because just now you created a file called index.html. Okay. So 3 steps completed. You converted into root user. You installed the software. You went inside this folder and you created a file, and inside that file, you place the web content, and finally, you need to start the software. Let's say you want to play cricket game in your laptop. You install the cricket game. So if you want to play the game, you need to start the game, right? Same here also. To start the service, what is the command? Service, name of the software, httpd, start. Simple. Service, name of the software, httpd, start. Enter. That's it. That's it, guys. Now what happened? now you have already converted. Now we have converted your Linux server. So earlier in the beginning of the class, you just created an empty server, Linux server, and it does not have any power. But now your Linux computer is having a power. What is the power? It is having a website inside it. It is hosting website inside it. So that's why that means it now it is a web server. Of course, it is a Linux only. Inside a Linux computer, you have given some additional power called web server. By installing the web package, you have converted into web server. And how can you see why I'm doing all these things? What is my ultimate aim? You are my customers, and I want you to show my website. So I need to share with you the IP address. So come to the console, copy the public IP. Here you see public IP. Again, don't gets confused here. Don't copy private IP. In the VPC class, when we start the networking concepts, then I will explain you what is this public, what is this private. But for now, just copy this public IP address. I will be sharing in the chat box. Anyone who are watching the video from mobile also, you can use it, no problem. Paste that IP in your browser and say me if you are able to see the website. I'm also typing. You also type either in the mobile or in the iPad or in the laptop, anywhere. And say me whether you are able to see this content called Linux 1. If you are able to see Linux 1 or not. Anyone? Are you able to see? Yeah, you see. I'm not saying that means obviously you also will not be, no one will be able to see. What it is saying, this site cannot be reached. Any guesses, guys? I mean, I am sure whatever the process, whatever the commands I did, that is correct. But why I'm not able to see the website, can anyone guess?
Yeah, in secure groups, we need to enable port 80.
Correct. I think yesterday someone asked me one question and I told you in the coming classes, I will show you. I will create a server, but I will not open the port. Then we will not be able to access the application. So now listen carefully, guys. What happened in today's class? First, we created a Linux server. And what is the port we have opened to connect to a Linux server? We have opened a
22.
port SSH 22. So listen carefully. So what is this port? What SSH port is for connecting to a line to go inside the Linux computer. Okay, fine. Again, inside computer, what we done just now, I have installed a software or application, an application, and it is a web application because it is running on the internet. So we call it as a web application. And what is the universal port number? If any, in any website, if you develop any application and if it has to be accessed through the internet to the customers, what is the port number?
80.
80. Yeah. Port number is 80 and the name of the number is HTTP. Okay. But did we open this in our security group?
No.
In today's class or in the beginning of the class, what is the only port we have opened by default? Only 22. But inside this mission, inside the same Linux mission, I have an application which is something, let's say Google application or Facebook, but here ours is Linux 1. So if the customers have to access that, you need to open a port HTTP. But what is happening now? You did not open the port. So what happened now when customer type the IP address in their laptop, their traffic is coming till here, but it is not going inside the computer. It is stopped outside the computer only because 80 port is not open. So if your customers has to see, that means here if you have to see Linux 1, what you need to do, you need to go to the security group which is attached to your Linux server and you need to open the port 80. So let's go ahead and do that. So go to the console and in the left side, you can see the security groups. Of course, here also you can see under security, there is a security group. You can click on that. And here is the inbound rules. That means inbound means inside. What traffic is coming as of now? Only SSH is allowed. So what we will do? Edit. Now add one more rule. Add another. So which port you want to open? You can search here because these are universal port. So it will be available here. HTTP. You see? I have just selected the name as HTTP. Automatically number came here. What is the number? 80, because it's a universal port number. And again, anywhere. Again, you don't worry about this. What is this anywhere? What is this custom? What is this IPv6? Again, we'll discuss in the VPC class, networking. Save rules. Now simply just refresh. Now nothing to do, just refresh the same thing and say whether you're able to see that web content or not. You're able to see or not? See, Linux 1. Of course, if I am able to see,
Yes.
everyone should be seeing. That is for sure. So of course, this is just for your example, guys. How I kept here Linux 1 in companies. Tomorrow, once you join in the companies, in whatever the project you have joined, they may be having their own product, right? Some of you might be working in some car rental company. Some of you might be working in some banking company. So your product will have some website, right? Some web page. So what in the backend, how it will do, how I kept here Linux 1, this is just small text content just for your understanding. Same way in the place of Linux 1, this much huge application will be there, which will be developed by the web developers. That is not our job. HTML developers, Java developers, PHP developers, they will prepare all these web pages and they will compile and they keep in the index.html file and they will give to you. They will say, okay, you're the cloud engineer. You can take this file. You keep wherever you want and you create a web server, because that is our job. Because they don't know what is a web server, how to create a web server, and we don't know how to create a HTML file. So that's why whenever there is a project, they recruit all the people, cloud engineers, DevOps engineers, developers, testing people, everyone, because everyone has their own job to do. But here, even though you do not prepare that web pages, that HTML, PHP, but you should have that knowledge. That is what they test in the interview. So tomorrow, if they ask in the interview, what is a web server? How do you create a web server? So now you will be able to explain all this technical terminology. What is a web server? How do you convert a normal server into a web server? What is the port number related to web server? Then they will say, okay, you know all the technical concepts. You are able to explain clearly. Now this is fine, guys. We have seen how to create a Linux web server and how to convert into a web server. Fine. But in reality, what happens? Let's say, is only one web server enough? Take an example of Facebook. Take example of Google. How many people, how many customers will be using Facebook or Google website, google.com every day? Billions of people will be using. How many servers will be there? Do you think in their data centers? There will be millions of servers, right? Millions of servers. How do you decide? How do you decide what is the capacity of a server? Now we are already having one web server, right? Now we are already having one web server. Now, if anyone asks you how many requests can this take, let's say these are customers. How many requests can your web server take means how will you decide that? It depends upon the configuration. It depends on the configuration of your web server. If it is having 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM, maybe it might take 10 customers requests. When 10, even though 10 people at the same time hit the IP address of my web server, it will be able to take. But maybe let's say 100 people, 100 customers, all the 100 customers are trying to access the same web server at a time. What will happen? The CPU percentage will increase to 100. What happens when a computer's CPU goes to 100 percentage? Did you see in your laptop? How do you know what is the CPU consumption of your laptop? Did you ever try it? Control Alt Delete. Control Alt Delete.
Yeah.
Task Manager. You see what is my CPU percentage now? My
Task
CPU
manager and
percentage is
CPU is
40. What happens if this goes to 100? Did any of it ever happen to you? Who are using some old
Laptop will
laptops
crash.
about to, it might happen.
an application will not might be work
Right.
properly.
You cannot do anything. Your system will be completely hanged. You cannot do anything if it goes to 100%. Same thing here also. one server, one web server will be having such some capacity. One web server means it can take only 10 requests or 100 requests depending upon the CPU and RAM. So obviously in companies actually you will be having 100 web servers or 200 web servers like. So how the customer's traffic has to go to the 100 servers? Because you cannot say customers traffic to go only this server, this server, this server like this. It has to be balanced. The load has to be balanced among all the 100 servers. So that brings us to the concept of load balancer, which is a very, very important concept, which is actually used in any companies, Netflix, Amazon, Flipkart, this one, all the MNC products, Facebook, Google, everyone will be using load balancers in their applications. And who will be implementing load balancer concept? Being a cloud engineers, we are the persons who are going to implement this load balancer concept. Now we are going to do practical, then you will understand much more clearly what is this load balancer and how we are going to implement it. After this, I will take your doubts. So just please be patient for some time, then we will discuss. So now let's say this is the customers. And already we are having one web server. I will create one more web server so that I can show you the example. This is web server 1, which is already there inside. What is the content inside it? Linux 1. Now what we are going to do? Again, we will launch one more web server. Again, it's just a matter of 5 minutes. Now that you know, it's just a matter of 5 minutes. Web server 2. And inside this, I will just keep content called Linux 2, just for our understanding. And then what happens? We will create a load balancer. And this load balancer address we will give to the customer. So now what happens? Whenever customer hit my website, traffic will be automatically distributed here and here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. So first what already this is there. Web server 1 is there. Now let's go ahead and create another web server 2. Go to the console, go to the EC2, instances, launch instance. This is Linux 2. Browse AMIs, select t2.micro. Key pair, if you want you can use the same key pair, or if you want you can create a new key pair, your wish. Okay. I will use the same key pair. Security group, the same security group, because you're launching a Linux machine only and it is a web server only. Already inside this security group you have opened both HTTP 80 and SSH 20 port. So I will attach the same security group to the another web server also, the Linux 2 machine also. It will be 8 GB launch. This Linux 2 is a web server, or is it a just normal Linux server?
Normal Linux.
server.
Normal Linux. So now what we need to do? Now we need to convert this into a web server.
Web
That
server.
is the goal, right? First we'll launch a machine, then we'll convert into web server. Now you know how to convert into web server. What we'll do, we will, okay, I'll just, whenever, if you want to rename any instance, you can simply edit here, as you see. You can simply edit it here. Just keep it to 1 so that you will not get confused. Linux 1, this is Linux 2. Actions, connect, same, username at the rate of DNS, copy, Control C. Put is already open. So some people think already one is there, can't I connect? Should I close this? No need, guys. You can always open sessions here. Right? If you do right click, here you see, you can do new session. So you can paste it here. Control V, SSH, authentication, credentials, PPK file. Same PPK file because we attach the same key pair, right? Open. Then And you might get confused between the same black screen. If you want to change the color of the screen background, you can always change here. You see, I think colors, both use system colors. Don't know. It should open in white. Yeah, you see, it open in the white. So what is this white color? White color is Linux 2. This black color is Linux 1. Nothing to get confused. So whatever the commands I have, the same commands I'm doing. The first thing is I want to convert myself into a root user. So sudo. So next, I want to install the software. Yum install httpd -y. After that, I want to go inside this folder. Control L, Control plus L. It will clear the screen. Enter, enter. CD, change directory. That means change folder. Space var www html. Enter. ls. Of course, nothing will be there. It's an empty folder. And we know the command. Create this file, and inside this file keep now Linux 2. So what I will do, echo Linux 2 greater than, create a file index.html. Enter. Now if you do ls, yeah, should show the file name. Finally, just start the software. What is the command? Service httpd start. Service httpd start. Enter. Now I will give you the IP of the second one. So now if you do, yeah, you see, this is Linux 2. This is our web server 2. This is our web server 1. Now, finally, now last step is let's go ahead and create a load balancer, which is very, very important concept here. You can see the last option in the left side. In the left side, if you scroll completely to the bottom, under load balancing, here you will see load balancers. Okay, select that. And here you can create this, create a load balancer. Create a load balancer. Again, there are so many load balancers. We will discuss everything later. What's the difference? But for now, just pick up any one thing. Classic load balancer. Okay, create it. You can give any name. There is no restrictions. You can just simply say my load balancer. My load balancer. Okay. And here, since the option is there, I'm saying now, or else again, I will say this in the VPC class because this is exclusively related to networking. But for now, if you observe carefully, you can see this. What are all these three? These three are,
Reason.
don't get confused, not region. These are, I already told in the first class also, whenever something ends with A, B, C, those are
Zones.
zones.
Jones.
Whereas regions always ends with, see here,
1, 2.
1, 2 numbers. So currently you're in
Number.
which region? Where are you launching all these load balancer, your Linux servers? You're launching in Mumbai region, you see, AP South 1. AP South 1 is the region. In AP South 1, we are having in Chennai, AP South 1A Chennai, AP South 1B Delhi, AP South 1C Jaipur, like that. These are the data centers. So it is asking you, where do you want to, I mean, you're creating a load balancer, and whatever the web servers you're creating, you can create in 1A, 1B, 1C. So where do you want to support? Which availability zones do you want the load balancer to be supported? I say I want all the three availability zones because okay, let me show you. Where did we launch our two web servers? Let's go here. EC2. One is launched in AP South 1B, of course. The other also South B. Maybe in the future, tomorrow I will launch in another 1A, or day after tomorrow I will launch in 1C. So all should be compatible. Even though if you launch your web server in 1A or 1B or 1C, it should be compatible with load balancer. So that's why I'm selecting all. So that is a best practice. Even in the companies also, we will keep it compatible with all the availability zones in that region. Same like how instances will have a security group, load balancers also will have a security group. So you can just select the same security group. Whatever the security group is selected for your instances, you will select the same thing. Why? Because what is the web traffic? What is the reason you're creating this load balancer? When your customer type the website name, it will come to the first, it will come to the load balancer. From load balancer only, it will go to the web servers. Again, already we discussed what is the port number related to the web traffic?
HTTP.
HTTP. And whatever the security group you have attached to the load balancer, already in this security group, did you open the port HTTP or not? Have you opened
Yes,
or not? We opened, right? So no problem. So that means once the customer type the load balancer name, it will go through the load balancer, and through load balancer, it will go to the web server. There's a security group. Again, there are so many options here. You don't worry, Vaiga, you'll get confused. What is this health check? What is this listener? What is this name of the file? Everything we will discuss in the coming classes. Again, like I said, just add the instances manually. Whatever the web servers you want to attach to the load balancer, add them manually. Confirm. And simply say create load balancer. I skipped many options because I just want to give you an overview. We are not going in depth in this class. In the coming classes, we are going again in depth. All the options, there are many options in the load balancer. Everything I'm going to explain one entire class because load balancer is very, very important. What is this? Feedback. No need to give any feedback. Now you see, guys, load balancer is there. Whatever the drawing is here, load balancer is there. Two web servers are there, and we have connected also. We connected both the web servers to the load balancer. Now what you need to give to the customers? Your customers have to see the website. So what should you give to the customers? Will you give this IP or will you give this IP?
Provide load balancer IP.
Correct. Because now I have two servers. I have two IPs. But generally in companies, Facebook, Google, how many servers they have? 1,000. Here 1,000. So how will you access Facebook website? Are you typing name or number? Google, Facebook, Instagram. Are you typing number or name? It's a name. What is a name? Name in the technique in IT, the name we call it as DNS. Domain name server.
DNS.
If only if you want to access a single machine, IP is enough. That's why if you remember, how did we access the first web server? Did I give you a name or number?
Number.
I gave you number. Why? Because if only one machine is there, if you want to access only one machine, number is enough. Fine, no problem, no confusion. But now I want to distribute the customer's traffic among 1,000 computers. I cannot give 1,000 IPs, right? If Facebook keeps on changing, today Facebook, tomorrow Apple, day after tomorrow Orange, will people access website? If every day you keep on changing names and numbers, there should be some standard name, right? So that's why load balancer will have a name, not a number, because it is a static. Name will never change. Numbers will change, but name will never change. So load balancer will have a name, and that we call it as DNS, domain name service there. So where can you get that? If you select the load balancer, you see here DNS, where it go? DNS name. Simply can copy this. See, copy this. I will paste in the chat box. So you can just check that. Fine. Now you can paste that in the browser and see what you were see. Enter. What is the characteristics of a load balancer is a very, very important question. What is the characteristic? What is the advantages or the characteristic of a load balancer? The first answer is, the name itself says, load balancer is used to distribute the load among the servers, among the web servers attached to it. So how can I prove that? What do you mean by load is distributed? The same thing, whatever the diagram I have drawn here. What is happening whenever the customers, how many people are there now? I think in today's class, 45 people are there. Now, we all people at the 45 people at the same time, we are accessing this name, my load balancer, this one. So where the load is going, do you think all the load is going to the same machine? Can anyone guarantee me that all our 45 requests are going here only?
No, sir.
No. One will go here, one will go here, one will go here, another will go like that. So that is what I mean by load is getting distributed. And how can I prove that? If you refresh, you see, if I keep on refreshing here, is it same content or different web content? Always. See, 1, 2,
Different.
1, 2, 1, 2. That is the reason why I given different content here. Linux 1, Linux 2. Why I gave different content? Because I want to prove you that load is being distributed. If I give here also Linux 1, here also Linux 1, you will say, Revant, I don't understand, because every time I'm seeing Linux 1, you will say. So to make you understand, I wantedly created different content here, Linux 2 and Linux 1. So I want to prove you the first point. What is the first point? Load balancer is used to distribute the load. That is the first answer. Second, load balancer makes sure the traffic is sent only to the healthy server, only to healthy web server. What do you mean by healthy web server? If a web server is not working, and if you send the customer's traffic to the web server, will customer will be able to see the website?
No.
No. So what load balancer load balancer will not blindly send simply request to the web server. Before sending a customer's request to the web server, what load balancer will do? Load balancer will check whether this server is healthy or not. So how can I prove that? Wantedly, let's say I will stop any one of the instance. Linux, let's say I will stop Linux 1. Stop. So now what happened here? You have attached both the Linux servers. Now also both servers are attached to the load balancer only, but one of the server you stopped it. So now what do you think load balancer will do whenever customers type this DNS? Do you think will this load balancer send any of the requests to this server?
No, sir.
No. All 45 people. Now if you type all the 45 requests will be sent to
Linux 2.
healthy server, which is Linux 2. That is what I mean by load balancer will not only send requests blindly, but it will make sure it is sending the customer's traffic only to the healthy server. That means to which server is working, only to that server. If you see, no matter how many times I will refresh this, every one of you will see only, see, is it changing or only Linux 2?
No, sir.
Only Linux 2. But will customer know that Linux 1 is gone Linux, because like same thing, behind Facebook server, Facebook will be running on lakhs of servers. Even though if 1 or 2 or 3 computers go down, it doesn't matter, because customers don't know. Customers traffic will be sent to healthy server only. But being a cloud engineer, how do you know which server is healthy, which is not working? You have to go to load balancer. Under load balancer, you see there is this target instances. And if you scroll down, there is a refresh button. You see, which is healthy, which is not healthy? Healthy, whereas your Linux 1 is out of service. Why? Because it has failed the health. It did not load balancer. No, that is not working properly. That's why it is sending all the customers traffic only to the Linux 2. Now, if you start it back again, automatically it should send. Actions, start. Start again. It will, of course, we need to go inside and start the server. Same guys. Let's say you install a cricket game in your laptop. You shut down the laptop, and you started your laptop. Will cricket game keep on running, or do you need to start the game again? When you shut down the laptop and when you start your laptop again, will cricket game will be running already, or should you start it again? Should start
It
it,
will
right?
start at least.
Right. Same thing here also. You stopped the web server one, again you started it. But what is the software will not be running auto. You need to start the software. It is installed, but it is not in running state. It will be in stop state. So what we will do, we just need to connect to it. Actions, connect, username @ DNS. Go to your putty. Of course, this is disconnected. That's why you see this got hanged because we stopped the machine. So you close this. Of course, this will be working because Linux 2 we did not stop. New session. Paste it. SSH authentication credentials. Upload the PPK file. Open. Accept. Sudo so. Now you don't need to do all the things. Already everything is installed. Just you need to start the software. That's it. Service. HTTPD. Start. That's it. Now it will start the service and automatically within 1 minute under the load balancer here you see this should come into the in service. That means both are in healthy, and then it will be able to distribute the traffic between the both the servers. Like you just give it some time because it should start and it should check the health, then it will be coming to the both. So why I'm showing these things, whatever I'm showing, this health, which is healthy, which is not healthy, this we will know, guys. Being the technical people, being the cloud engineers, we will know from our end. But whereas customers don't know. Whenever you type facebook.com, maybe you will be always see facebook.com. Why? Because your traffic is always routed only to the healthy web server. That doesn't mean always in the Google company, in the Facebook company, all the servers are working fine. There also will be some network issues. There also will be some network security glitches. Some out of 1,000 web servers, maybe 100 web servers are not working properly, but still no problem because all the time customers traffic will be sent to the remaining 900 web servers only. But customers don't know that because you are thinking all the computers are working fine. That's why I'm saying facebook.com every time. But no, even though Google, Apple company also, there will be some web servers which will be down at their end. But still, this is how actually happens in the companies. And being a technical persons, being cloud engineers, how we will be checking in the backend like this, which is healthy, which is not healthy, why it is not healthy. We will debug it later. So in the coming classes, we will be seeing the different scenarios, why it will go down, in which scenarios, how we need to make sure it will never go down, all these things. You see now this came into in service. Now if you do refresh again, now you should see both the things. See Linux 1, Linux 2, Linux 1, Linux 2. So this is the advantage of having a load balancer. What is E in the beginning? You see this E is nothing but elastic. It's not a simple load balancer, but it is an elastic load balancer. Why elastic? It can take any number of requests. There is no limit for load balancer, guys. One customer can access, 100 customers can access, 1 million customers can access, 10 million. This load balancer can take any number of requests. That is why it is called elastic load balancer. Okay. But whereas, can one web server take million requests? I already told you. How can you decide what is the capacity of any web server? How many requests can a web server will take? It depends upon the configuration.
CPU.
CPU, how much CPU, how much RAM. Accordingly, it can take. If it is one CPU, 1 GB RAM, it can take maybe 10 requests. If it is 100 CPU, 100 GB RAM, maybe it can take 1,000 requests. Right? So that's why what we do generally in the companies, since one web server cannot take all the requests, we will launch mini servers, 100, 200, 500, and we will attach all that web servers to the load balancer. And in all the web servers, same content will be there. Here also facebook.com, Facebook, everywhere Facebook only will be there. So that wherever customers traffic will be distributed, all the customers will see the same Facebook only. When you type facebook.com, when I type facebook.com, will we see same color or different colors? Will you see red color facebook.com? No, right? You also see blue color. I also see blue color. Why? In all the 1,000 web servers, the content is same. But so this is how load balancer and why the name elastic load balancer came. But here also there is still a disadvantage. What did we do in today's class? These web servers did attached manually or these were attached to the load balancer automatically? Did we
Manually.
attach web servers manually or they attached to the load balancer automatically? Manually, right?
Manually.
I created two and attached manual, but do you do these things manually in the companies?
No, sir.
Let's say you attached 3 web servers today before going to the home. You attached 3 web servers and you went home. Suddenly in the middle of the night, all the customers started accessing website. Suddenly, all of a sudden, don't know what happened. Everyone started accessing. What happens? This will CPU will go 100% here. CPU will go 100% here. CPU will go 100% here, and all the 3 will be down. And after 10 minutes, your website is down because all the 3 web servers is down. What is the use of load balancer? Even though all 3 web servers are down. So load balancer is of no, only load balancer is of no use in such scenarios because these are running manually. So then comes into the picture, which is the most important technical part, that is called auto scaling. So actually in the companies, we don't attach these servers manually. As per the customer's traffic, if more traffic is coming at the same time, what auto scaling will do? Automatically it will launch a server. It will install the web package. It will make sure everything is working fine and it will attach to the load balancer. And when automatically customers traffic is not coming, suddenly no customers is accessing the website, what it will do? It will remove the missions automatically. So you are saving the cost. That means you are not wasting the money when you don't need the business. And whenever you need the business, it is immediately launching the servers so that your business is always up and running. That is the advantage of auto scaling, and it is a very, very important concept that we'll see in the coming classes. Again, I am repeating, I have just given you an overview of today's class because I just want you to show of these advanced components, load balancer, web server, these things. But in the coming classes, again, I will explain this class with much more in-depth type by taking the much more time there. Okay. And from tomorrow onwards, the classes links will be changed. The students who have registered, you will get a separate Zoom links and they will create a separate accounts for you, username and password, so that you will be able to access the recording videos. Here you see student login. You will go here into the student login and you will get the username and password given by the admin team, where you will be having all the recorded videos, all the course content details and the soft copy material for practicing everything. Okay. And those who want to get registered, please don't call in the last minute, guys, because in every batch I see, like if class is starting at 9:30, you will call at 9:20 and you will start paying fees because admin team cannot take all the requests in the same time when all 50-60 people are calling in the same time. So better whenever you're having a free time, whether in the morning or afternoon, in the evening, then you can call to the admin team if you have any doubts, if you want to talk to me, then accordingly you can do the registration process. And again, before I take the doubts, after completing, just make sure you terminate these things, guys. Terminate your instances. Load balancer is free trial, so no need to worry. It is completely compatible with free tier. You no need to worry. You won't get any bill. But after practicing, make sure you are terminating that one. Select the load balancer. Delete the load balancer. Guys, just be on mute. Who is that? Okay, yeah. So those are not having any doubts, yeah, you can please leave the meeting, guys. Yeah, have a good night. But those are having doubts, yeah, just please stay back and get your doubts clarified. Either you can type in the chat box or you can ask me directly. Anything is fine.
Sir, I would like to know if we would be able to download the classes.
No, you will not be able to download the classes. You will be getting the recorded videos directly.
And is it going to be like we can access for lifetime, or is it
1 year.
any 1 year? Okay, thank you.
Sir, daily
I-
we need
Yes,
to,
Swapnil, you can register tomorrow morning, no problem.
I have a
Yeah.
question. So when are you going to start the networking class?
Networking comes exactly in the between, in middle.
Okay. Okay, thank
Because
you.
in the next week also I'm going to repeat these classes in depth, because I just to give an overview. After that we'll start with the Linux, because I'm going to explain you all the Linux commands. Then we will discuss few more services. Then we'll come to the networking part, which is the backbone. Without networking questions, you cannot crack the interview, and you will never become a cloud engineer without knowing the in-depth concepts of this VPC networking.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Krishna
sir,
Reddy, everyone is having my WhatsApp number. If you see in the email, there is my contact number given there, faculty contact number.
sir, daily we need to download and create.
Which one? What you need to download?
That means we download the Putty app like that, no, sir.
No.
Daily we
Once you have downloaded, it will be there in your computer. Daily you no need to download, right? It is there, right? It's a software. It's once you download it, it will be there here only in your downloads folder.
okay, sir.
So same like when database side, the classes will be starting, sir.
Yeah, like I said, these will be coming one by one, right? First, we'll started with the server, then we will go into the security, then we will go into the networking, then we will go into the database one by one.
Okay, sir. After networking, the database.
Yes, correct.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Ravan. So the upcoming classes will be on Zoom or any
Same.
separate?
Everything will be on Zoom. Only the thing is, link will be changed. That's it.
Okay.
Hi, Revant. Regarding when you were creating the instances, you created two different instances. So, for example, can we? Is there any option like to create a copy of the instance, like something like
Yes, it is there.
yeah, because
That we will
we
discuss
created
in the
separate of each,
yes, that we'll discuss in auto scaling class. I will show you.
Okay.
Sir, in next day's class, we have created an AWS account and free tier account, no, sir.
In the
We
yesterday's
need
class.
to Hi, yes, sir. We need to create it today or in next week
No
class.
problem. No need to. No hurry is there. Like I said, I am going to give 4 days holidays in this weekend. Then you can create it slowly. Go through the recording videos and practice it.
It is compulsory or
Yeah. You have to create compulsory because you are going to practice in your account only the entire course. And tomorrow, once you join in the companies, also the same AWS account you are going to work. But of course, company will provide you that account, but account will be same.
okay, sir. After that, we have joining any company. We need and that means we will work through our AWS account, no, sir.
Yes, by going through the recording videos, you will be practicing in your AWS account the same way.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Swapnil, you will be able to access anytime means there is no limitation for the accessibility. They mean to say, not about the duration. The duration of accessibility of the videos is 1 year. And it is more than enough. By the time you will be already in the company doing the job, right? Because for practice, you will take 1 to 2 months. And if you still want extension, that yeah, it is possible also. How can we keep the same content on different instance machines? Yeah, Sudhir Kumar. So what I have done here, actually, I wantedly kept Linux 2 in another web server. Instead of keeping Linux 2, I'll keep the same Linux one, right? That's how we will keep the same web content. I just wanted to show you that traffic is distributing between two computers. That's why I kept wantedly in one content as Linux 1, another one Linux 2.
Sir, can we change load balancer name like Facebook like that?
Yes, correct. Very good question. So actually in today's class, what is the load balancer name I given? Yeah, you see something my load balancer 2, 3 episode 1. Obviously, you will not give this to the customers, right? So what there is a service called Route 53 that we are going to discuss as a part of our course. There I'm going to show you how to register a domain like revant.com. I will show you how to buy a domain and how we can map this to revant.com. So what happens then when you type revant.com, then it will redirect traffic to this load balancer that we will discuss in the Route 53 class.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, Raman. Apart from this, do we need to install any other third-party applications like that? The
No,
reason
no.
why I'm asking is, I don't have a laptop with me, but I
Okay.
have my office laptop. In that office laptop, AWS console access is working. I was tried the yesterday's demo what we have done.
Yes.
So I hope it is fine for me. But what I need to know is, do we need to install any other upcoming third-party
Not
applications or
nothing else is needed except this putty.
console again?
Not
Yeah,
console,
yeah,
the putty which I have downloaded today.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Then it's more fine for me.
Yeah,
Thank
then
you.
it should be fine. Yeah.
Revant, Subhashish here.
Yeah, hi Subhashis.
Two
Yeah, I saw
questions.
your message in WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
your friend called me
two
today
questions.
morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's my
So
past
yeah,
batch student, 2 batches
yeah,
back, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. He told me about you. So yeah, so two things, Revant. First thing is when we are talking about this availability zones, right? So all of these availability zones are under the same region, right?
Right.
What happens if the region fails?
Very good question. Yeah. So whatever we discussed, this is availability zone. So even though one data center, that means one availability zone in a single country goes away, then this will be helpful. But like you asked, if the entire country goes down, if the entire India is down, then this is of no use. In that scenarios, there is another term or pattern called DR, disaster recovery. So where we manage our infrastructure in two different regions, whatever the web servers, load balancers, which is running in India region, Mumbai region, the same infrastructure will be running in US also, right? And we will give the connection at regional level. So whenever people type facebook.com, the traffic will be distributed at a regional level. The traffic will go both to Mumbai region as well as US region. And whenever the entire region of India or US goes down, traffic will not be sent to that region. It will be sent only to the healthy region servers. That also we'll discuss in the Route 53 because it is connected at the domain level. When you talk about two different regions, we are talking at the domain level, at the point of connection straight away. That also we are going to show. See.
Perfect. The second thing is, like we are right now learning about AWS, right? So in case we want to relate it with Azure or probably Google Clouds, only the terminology is changed. The concept remains the same, right?
Correct. The terminology and the user interface, that's it. But the concept, the use cases, everything will be same.
Okay, cool enough. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And one more thing, even after you terminate instances also, still you will see here instances as to don't worry. After 1 hour, after 2 hours, it will go away. You just make sure it should be 0 here because your instance should not be running. Okay. Yeah, any doubts, guys? Anyone else? Yeah, you can ask me. Okay, guys. Yeah, if you are not having any doubts, yeah, we'll meet in tomorrow's class, same time, 9:30. Bye. Have a good night.
Good night, Travis. Bye.